Welcome in, everyone. Welcome, welcome. All right, let's get a little cedar going here. Some cedar. Smudge this all off. How is everyone? How is everyone? I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing good. My friend's not so good. This is why I was not here yesterday, but I'm here today. We're gonna do a weekly check-in. Hoping everybody is doing well. Crazy energies out there, huh? So apparently there's this thing called Uranus moving into Gemini, or Gemini into Uranus, or something like that. Anyway, as soon as it hit, boy, my life totally changed when it came to a situation I'm dealing with. So I'm just wondering if some of you guys are going through the same thing where all of a sudden everything is a little different. Anyway, that's what's going on in my world. So, but let's check in with all of you guys. We're going to go around the zodiac. We're going to go from Aries to Pisces and quickly kind of get an overview of what the week looks like for all of us. And then, as always, I'm happy to put answer questions in the chat. I do have a little bit of time today. So, yeah, why not? Let's see what we can do for each and every one of us out there. Yeah, so stick around or come back if you want that to happen. You know, like I said, I'm always happy to pull cards at the end of my reading. But first, we got to get the chat going, and we got to generate the people in the chat. So let's do some readings for all of us, and look at what the week looks like. Let's start with our Aries. Grateful, thankful for the messages from my Aries clan out there. What messages do you have for Aries for this upcoming week? Welcome in, you guys. Nice to see the chat filling up. Aries, you ready? Let's see what this week look like. Oh, this card wants to stay out. So 3 of Cups is coming in with the Knight of Pentacles to the Knight of Cups. All right, so, you know, I got to tell you, Aries, I'm feeling like you have an up-down week. All right, we've got this 3 of Cups coming in reverse. Maybe, you know, things didn't, there's some discord between you and some friends. You know, maybe there was a disagreement. I'm just feeling like there is some aspect around you and maybe some family members, maybe, you know, you don't always agree. But I do feel like as the week progresses, though, I think, you know, you're going to find yourself doing some work. You know, we've got the Knight of Pentacles coming in, so work is going to dominate, you know, so that's good. You know, it's nice to get some work done. You know, but honestly, when it comes to, you know, love, relationships, I just don't feel like it's going to be very positive for you, Aries. We've got the Knight of Cups coming in reverse. This is somebody not very serious. We've got the 8 of Swords coming in reverse. This is somebody who, you know, maybe you don't believe everything they're going to say. I'm just feeling like this week, if you want to save your week, you know, do your work, all right? Just when it comes to the emotional realm, Aries, I think it's going to be a hard emotional week for you. Yeah, so dive into your work, and I think you'll feel a little bit better. Hi, Colette. Hi, Maythaw. Welcome. Welcome in. Nice to see you guys. All right, we're going to look at my Taurus gang now and see what's going on for the week for Taurus. What does the week look like for all of my Taurus? Grateful, thankful. You're Virgo? I'm not there yet, Colette. Let's see, Taurus. Let's see what's going on for you. We start with the 3 of Wands to the 4 of Wands. Oh, I like that. Something's definitely in order. So if you are planning to go somewhere or to visit someone, look at this. We've got the 3 of Wands. This is very positive energy because I feel as if you're making something happen. Maybe some of you Taurus are planning, you know, a wedding, a celebration, or something like that. But I like it. I like the energies this week because I feel as if, you know, they're pretty good. With the 3 of Wands, very, very positive energy. So I think you're going to feel positive this week. With the 4 of Wands, I think, you know, this is a celebration of sorts. Maybe even get some good news. Or maybe your life moves in a new direction. It's like going through a new door. And this whole, you know, Uranus Gemini thing is about like really a new chapter of our lives, a new era, so to speak. And then we have the Page of Swords coming in for you, Taurus. Now, the Page of Swords is reversed. So it wouldn't surprise, somebody might be watching you. I mean, there could be somebody totally, you know, scoping you out on social media, following you. I am getting that kind of an energy. So somebody's got their eye on you. Ace of Pentacles, I think they're holding back. But yeah, if you get that feeling that somebody is watching you or somebody likes you, I mean, I'm just feeling like, you know, it's true. They really do. And the other thing is, I also feel like on the downside, Taurus, that Page of Swords says you may receive some news that is a little disappointing when it comes to maybe some studies or a workshop or a program that you were hoping to go in, because I also have the Ace of Pentacles coming in at the base of what's going on. You know, so things may be delayed. So you might hear some news that might be a little disappointing this week as well. All right, Taurus, that's what I've got for you. Hi, Lucy. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Got all the girls in the house. We got a Virgo. We got a Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn, May. Capricorn, Aquarius, Moon, Sag rising. And I got a Cancer North Node. All right, let's move on to my Geminis. What's going on, Geminis? Grateful, thankful for the messages for all of my Geminis. Welcome in, everyone. Don't forget to hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Makes a difference to my channel. All right, let's see. Oh, this card wanted to stay. So listen, Gemini, I'm feeling an ending is needed in a situation. All right, Ten of Swords, King of Wands. It could be around someone that you are dealing with. But I'm just, you know what I'm also getting with this, Gemini? Be very careful of your surroundings this week, all right? Because, you know, it's like here you are on the ground and this person kind of runs. So I'm just wondering, you know, in the parking lots, you know, just watch your surroundings, all right? Protect yourself. Because I'm picking up a little bit of that for you, Gemini. But, you know, some of you might be planning a trip. We do have the King of Wands here. He's pointing at the world. You know, he's looking at this cat like, maybe we could go somewhere. Maybe we could do something. You know, the King of Wands likes to do things. You know, they're a traveler. They're very worldly. The entrepreneurial type of stuff. You know, this is somebody, maybe you're thinking about expanding a business into a more global kind of aspect. So a lot of international energy. So I'm getting travel. You know, and you don't have to travel far. You can travel online, maybe just kind of think of things. But I feel like, you know, you're in a very positive state right now. You know, so even if Gemini, something recently ended, all right? Because this is an ending, you know, it brings you to a new place, a new beginning, a new lease on life. I mean, I think whatever is just recently that was hard that you went through, what's coming is what you are manifesting. And look at that, the King of Wands to the Magician. You know, the King of Wands, it's like whatever you touch is going to turn to gold. Wherever you want to go, you're going to have a good time. I mean, this is a lot of positive energy this week. So, yeah, don't stay home because I think, you know, you're going to miss out on a lot of fun. All right, Gemini? So, good week for you. All right, let's move on to my Cancers. What's going on, Cancers? Grateful, thankful for the messages for my Cancers. Welcome in, everyone. We got 9 people in the chat. Welcome, all 9 of you. And if all 9 of you stick around, I could actually pull a card for you. That would be really great, huh? All right, let's see what's going on for all of my Cancers for the next 7 days. Grateful, thankful for the week ahead for all of my Cancers. What's going on with my Cancers? All right, Cancer, you ready? Here we go. We have the 5 of Wands coming in reversed, the Hierophant reversed, and the 2 of Swords reversed. Cancer, I feel like you don't want to deal. I'm not dealing with things this week. Nope, not this week. 5 of Wands. This is you not wanting to kind of go up against other people, not get involved. I feel like you don't want to listen to what other people have to say. I mean, you're in your own space right now. I think also with the 5 of Wands, you know, it's one of these energies where, you know, you would rather just pull back. You know, Hierophant reversed is also talking about you doing your own thing. I don't think you want to be involved. I think this is one of these weeks, you know, Cancer, where, you know, you're better off doing you, all right, you know, and not really kind of like saying, oh, I'll help you. Like, I just feel like, you know, this is a week that you need to kind of take care of you and not worry about other people, especially with this Hierophant reverse. You know, this is you wanting to have a sense of freedom. You know, so maybe this is you not wanting to work, not wanting to be around people, just kind of taking off. Wouldn't surprise me if some of you do take off. But I feel like, you know, you're avoiding something. All right, because we do have the 2 of Swords here coming in reverse. So rather than deal with what's going on in front of you. I do get the sense that some of you Cancers would rather just kind of just take off and leave and maybe go camping for the week and, you know, pretend that the real world doesn't exist. But it does, all right? And I think Cancers, regardless of how you are feeling, maybe you just need to take some time to just kind of process what's really going on, you know, maybe get away for a little bit. But, you know, the Two of Swords is really wanting you to gain some clarity because you got to face it at some point. So I think whatever it is that you're up against, whatever it is you need to deal with right now, this is not the week you want to handle it, you know. So that could bring some confusion, all right? Because sometimes if we just deal with it, nip it in the bud, then it's done, we can move on. You know, so just kind of weigh that out, all right, Cancer. That's what I've got for you for this week. But something is definitely not over, all right? All right, let's see what's going on. Kazuhira. I don't know if I said that right. Hi, Joseph. Welcome. Nice to see you. All right, moving on to my Leos. Leo, what does your week look like? If any of you guys want a timestamp, that would be great. And if you don't, that's okay too. I will roll with whatever's going on. All right, let's see what's going on for my Leos for this week. Grateful, thankful for the messages for all of my Leos. All right, Leos. Let's see what it looks like. This week, we are starting out with the Knight of Swords, Queen of Wands. Oh, that's nice. And the Ten of Cups. All right, look, you know, I think you want to do the right thing. All right, you come out in your own reading here with as the Queen of Wands. I love the Queen of Wands, right? I mean, do you? I mean, this is a week where I don't think you should hide who you are. All right, so Leo, if you know you want to dress up today and go out, dress up because heads will turn. If you want to be, you know, people to have the attention on you, you can get the attention on you. I think, you know, this is a week that you could really shine. But with that, you know, on the outside, I think you could really do really well. But family, I think family could be tough. I'm sensing some arguing, some fighting, you know, and that kind of energy. And I don't think you're going to let it, you know, bring you down, all right, whatever it is. If anything, I feel like you will figure it out and you will rise above. But I just think that this week, it's going to be one of these weeks where, you know, you've got somebody here, this Knight of Swords. It's almost as if, you know, they're picking a fight or they want to fight or they need to deal with this issue. You know, listen, you're gonna be able to handle it just fine. Whatever it is that they're coming at you with, whoever wants to argue with you, I think you can handle it, all right? Because you are coming in very, very strong this week, Leo. But we do have the Ten of Cups coming in reversed, you know, at the end of the week. You know, so I'm just feeling like, you know, dealing with family and that kind of thing could be a little tough, all right? You know, so just be a little bit sensitive to those people around you. And, you know, bottom of the deck, Leo, we have the Hanged Man. You know, don't get yourself confused, all right? If you can't do everything, you can't do everything. If this person is mad because you can't do something, so be it, all right? Don't let other people confuse you and don't, you know, sacrifice, you know, yourself, you know, and trying to come up with solutions. You know, we want answers, not solutions. And solutions. All right. Let's see what else is going on here. Grateful, thankful for the messages now for my Libra. Sorry, I just saw the dogs just take off. Oh, there's somebody running down the road. All right. Let's see what's going on for all of my Virgos. Now, wait, we got a Virgo out here. Who's my Virgo? Oh, Colette, you're the Virgo. Hi, Virgo. Let's see what's coming up for you for this week. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Virgo. Grateful, thankful for her. All of the messages for Virgo. All right, Virgo, let's see what's going on for you. Are you ready? First card out for you is the Empress, Motherhood. Ooh, we got a... All right, I'm back. All right, so listen, sorry, I had a phone call come through. All right, so listen, this is what we got going on for you, Virgo. We're starting out with the Empress. All right, the Empress energy, this is one of these energies around motherhood. Maybe you find out you're pregnant, or you hear of somebody being pregnant, or maybe your mom needs you. Don't forget to pick up the phone, see what's going on with mom. We start out with this energy around motherhood. But if you're not a mom, all right, Virgo, because not all, you know, people are moms. You know, this could be around, you know, beginning something, creating something. This is the act of creation. So maybe there's a really great idea that some of you Virgos may actually just kind of start out. But you know, there's some heartache that's come up. All right, we've got the Three of Swords that's coming in here midweek. You know, so maybe you learn some news that is a little difficult. I mean, when we have the Three of Swords, you know, something has happened. A third element has entered into your world that, you know, is a little bit tough. This could be, you know, a person you are dealing with. Maybe you find yourself as a single mom. We do have the Judgment card here at the bottom of the deck, which is reversed. So I feel like when it comes to maybe, you know, a relationship that you are dealing with, a difficult one, I think, you know, the Three of Swords indicates that you've gotten really, really hurt in it. But the Judgment card says, I don't know if I can continue or if I want to. And the Star card underneath it says, I don't want to continue in a relationship where the other person is not doing their work. All right, so I feel as if, you know, there's an awakening to the realization of the connection you have with someone. And if you are a single mom, you know, I feel the heaviness of what you're going through right now, because it's tough. It's hard to find yourself pregnant, you know, and the person doesn't want you. And then we have the Queen of Wands coming in at the end of the week here. Like the Queen of Wands, I like it because I feel as if regardless of what happens at the beginning of the week, at the end of the week, you're going to come in strong. All right, you're going to do what you got to do. You're going to do what you need to do. You know, the Queen of Wands, you know, rises up. You know, she's this inspiring type of person, you know. So I like that energy for whoever it is out there that needed to hear this. All right, moving on to my, who's next? Libra. Libra, grateful, thankful. Ooh. Libra, I'm getting a sense of, you know, anxiety because this card just flipped over. All right, we've got this Nine of Swords. Maybe just relax. All right, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. All right, grateful, thankful for the messages for my Libras for this coming week. What's going on? All right, you guys, we're almost finished. We've got a few people in the chat. So if you stick around, I will pull cards for all of you guys at the end of this reading. You know, so take what works and leave what doesn't. Bye, Colette. Thanks for popping in. All right, don't forget to hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, let's see what's coming in for my Libras for this week. Grateful, thankful for the messages for my Libras. All right, Libra, we got the Ace of Cups coming in reverse to the Six of Swords. Troubled waters when it comes to love. Maybe there is a relationship that, you know, is giving you a lot of trouble and you're not really sure how to handle it. I just feel like, you know, emotionally love is going to be rough this week. We do have the King of Wands at the end of the week showing up, you know. So, you know, I'm wondering whether or not maybe getting away with your person might help. Right? Because if you've been feeling like things haven't been good between the two of you, this King of Wands, he's kind of pointing to like, maybe we should go somewhere. And if there have been some troubles, Libra, I feel like, you know, this energy of the Six of Swords, of you being in this turbulent energy, will also indicate that, you know, maybe, you know, going away might be a good idea. You know, it's just, is it a good idea? Isn't it? I just feel as if there is this part of you that, you know, has this feeling that, you know, you don't feel loved, you don't feel good, you don't feel like, you know, they care. You know, they're just not there, but I feel like they're trying. All right, Libra, can I just say that? They're trying. So, yeah, if your person invites you to go out and, you know, maybe kind of see whether or not, you know, new perspective, new views, you know, new energy around you too might refresh an old relationship that needs a little bit of life and fire lit. All right, so that's for someone out there. All right, let's see who's next. We got Libra, Scorpio. What's going on for all of my Scorpios? Grateful, thankful for the messages for Scorpio. What's going on with all my Scorps? All right, let's see what's going on for Scorpio for the next 7 days. Just a quick check-in. Take what works, see what doesn't, people. We all know who we are in the story. All right, let's see what is going on for my Scorpios. All right, we're starting now with the Four of Wands. So some of you guys may have, you know, begun the week, you know, from, you know, a party or some place that you went to. I just feel like, you know, we start with a real good feeling, you know. So I feel like whatever happened to you over the weekend, if it was a really great time, I think you're bringing that into the beginning of the week. Maybe there was just something that came up. We have the wish card also coming in here. I mean, you're feeling good this week, Scorpio. It's about time. And you know, I also feel like, you know, you're taking time to be alone, all right, to be with yourself. We got you in the hermit position. We've got you over here, you know, in the Nine of Cups, and you know, both of these women are sitting in the, you know, this meditative position, you know, and it's just like, you know, it's time for you to really visualize what you want, Scorpio. And, you know, if you just came through a celebration and that's what you want, you know, what they have, that's what I want. You know, I think you're going to start to sit and formulate this week and kind of envision, you know, how you want your life to be. At the bottom of the deck, we do have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a great energy. I mean, this is you seeing, you know, what it is that you are after. Here we have the Ace of Wands following it. I mean, I just feel like you're in a really good place, and whatever it is that you wish, I mean, you talk about a wish come true, you know, love, passion, money, all those things. I think this is a week where you are going to really try to formulate that and then ground that into reality. So a lot of you Scorpios are going to be in the heady space, the dream space of manifestation of your new life that you are wanting to manifest. So I like that. All right, so that's what we got for my Scorpios. All right, let's see who is next. We have, next up, we have Sagittarius. Yeah, Sagittarius. All right, welcome in, everyone. We're almost finished, so if you stick around and you want me to pull a card for you, I'd be happy to do that. So let's see what's going on for all of my Sagittarians. Grateful, thankful for the messages for my Sagittarians. What's going on for Saggy? All right, Sagittarians. Let's see what's going on. All right, we've got the Two of Wands to the Seven of Cups reversed to the Tower. All right, like, look, you know, a lot of you Sagittarians, you really want to make a decision, all right? You know what you want to make. You know the decision, all right? So what's the problem? All right, we need to get rid of, you know, all of the excuses, all of the reasons why we can't move in the direction we want to move in. All right, so here we have this determined energy here of this Two of Wands. He's holding the world in his hands, you know, he wants to make a new move. He wants to go in another direction. You know what it is you need to do, the Tower, but you're avoiding it because the minute you start this and you move in this other direction, everything changes, right? The Tower falls. All right, but you can't be afraid to follow your dreams. You can't be afraid to do those things that you want to do. You know, if you've been in a dead-end job and an opportunity has now presented itself for you to move in a direction that would probably bring you everything you want, then do it. You know, I mean, you know, what's holding you back? You know, you're the only one that's keeping you in a state of confusion from doing what it is you really want to do. So whatever that is this week, don't hold back. I think you need to do it. Now, there is a word of caution here for you, Sagittarius. I do see the King of Pentacles coming in reverse. Be very, very careful if you are signing contracts this week, if you are getting involved in like big purchases. You know, the King of Pentacles, when he shows up upside down, he leaves out key information and details that would really make a difference to whether or not you would have signed this contract. Shady guys, shady guys. So just be careful of that this week. All right, Sag. All right, moving on to, let's see, who's next? We got Capricorn. We got Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And then I'm going to shift my energies over to you guys, all right? All right, let's see what's going on for all of my Capricorns. Grateful, thankful for the messages for my Cappies. What's going on for Capricorns for the next 7 to 10 days? All right, let's see what's happening. Are you ready? Capricorn. All right, Capricorn, we're starting out with the Hierophant coming in reverse to the Two of Swords to the Fool reversed. So, look, you know, Capricorn, you got to not be afraid to do your thing, all right? You know, because Capricorn gets up, they go to work, they do what they got to do. And sometimes life is going to throw a monkey wrench in there, and you're going to have to just kind of improvise and go with the flow. All right, so, and I'm feeling, you know, in doing so, you're going to be like, oh, I kind of like this. I kind of like not having to do it all, you know, this way. So I think, you know, this Hierophant is encouraging you to let go a little bit, all right? And not always do for other people, you know, but, you know, do you, right? Capricorn, do you, boo. Then we have the Ten of Swords coming in reverse. I do sense some stress and anxiety, though, that does come up, maybe about something that you are about to start. You know, maybe, you know, it's not time to start something. Maybe somebody is trying to get you to try one more time to do something. I just don't like the combination of these two, because I feel as if, you know, the Ten of Swords says something needs to come to an end. And in the ending, you know, you kind of free yourself. But, you know, with the Ten of Swords coming in reverse, you know, that's like backstabbing. This is still like, this is not going in your favor. All right. So if whatever it is, the situation that you have been trying to let go of and be free from, if they try one more time, you know, to make amends, listen, you know, the last 10 times they didn't make amends. They're not going to do it this time. All right. So just beware of that energy. All right. That somebody is, it's not over, but whatever it is, it's going to push you. All right, to finally bring this to an end, because you can't keep going with someone, you know, who keeps wanting to try to fix something that can't be fixed. Right. So that's what I feel is going on for you, Capricorn. All right, next up is Aquarius. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Aquarius. May, I just did Capricorn. I just did Capricorn. Do you, May? Don't be afraid to take time off, to not go along, to be different this week. All right, May? Do you? All right, let's see what's going on for my Aquarians. Grateful, thankful for the messages for my Aquarians. But May, I'd be happy to pull a card for you when I'm finished. It's more accurate when it's just for you, you know, than general collective. All right, let's see. Aquarius, I see you getting an offer. All right. Here we have the Knight of Pentacles. Whether or not you want to take it, you know, whether it's the best for you, I think is the big thing. But somebody's making you an offer here with this Knight of Pentacles. You know, maybe they offer you a job or, you know, but you got to speak up for yourself, all right? They might offer you a great job. Sounds real good, right? You know, sounds really, really great. That happened to me. I was offered this job. Boy, they made it sound really, really good. And then when the reality of what I had to do and what I was going to get paid, boy, that sure didn't match, right? And I just feel like Aries, Aquarius, you know, something may not match, all right? So just err with caution when it comes to somebody trying to offer you something, you know, just, you know, be smarter than them, you know. You make the counter offer be better for that, for you than for them. All right, listen, then we got the Knight of Swords ending your week here. So a little bit of stress, a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of worry, you know, but I'm being encouraged to tell you to just kind of, you know, look on the bright side, all right? Always look for the light when things are really difficult and you just don't know what to do. All right, so this Nine of Swords is really asking you to just kind of hang in there, you know, and, you know, whatever it is that's bringing you a lot of stress, there is an ending. You're really close to it, whether you need to initiate the ending or something is going to make it come to an end. I do feel like you're really, really close because my focus constantly goes back to this bright light and this bird. So, you know, you may hear some good news in regards to this situation, Aquarius, and that will make you feel so much better, right? So now, last but not least, we got my Pisces. And then what I'm going to do is turn my attention to you guys, all right? So Pisces, what does your week look like? Grateful, thankful for the messages for my Pisces. Hi, Joseph. Oh, I got myself a super chat. Thanks, Joseph, for the 5. Really appreciate. Tips from Aquarius. All right, we're going to have to pull tips for you, Joseph. But let's see what is going on for my Pisces first. Grateful, thankful for the messages for my Pisces. Let's see what's going on. All right, Pisces, I like it. We're starting out the week with the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, and the Judgment card. This is a good week for you, Pisces, all right? So let's all find Pisces in our astrology charts. All right, so we've got the Ace of Pentacles. You know, I think you are really focused and you know the direction you want to go in. Perhaps you have been given a new opportunity. Maybe you're starting a new job. This could be something that you really, really love, something that will set you free, that you can do what you want. I got to tell you, Pisces, out of all of the signs, you have the most positive energy. I mean, the Ace of Cups, I mean, this is love. You know, perhaps you just met someone or you're going to meet someone. The Ace of Pentacles, I mean, this is a brand new opportunity. This is like gifts from God. I like it. And then we have the Judgment card coming in reverse. I feel as if, you know, you are at the end of a cycle that has really been heavy and has weighed down on you. And now that is turning around, Pisces. I feel as if, you know, you can end an old cycle and a new one is beginning with these new beginnings that are coming to you. Good week for you. What's at the bottom of the deck? Queen of Swords. Don't let somebody dim your light, all right? Not everybody's going to be happy for you, Pisces. All right, and we got this queen here that I feel like can be totally like the negative Nelly. Try to bring you way down and try to discourage you and, you know, don't let anybody bring you down. The Judgment card is really wanting you to stand on your own and not go backwards, all right? You have the potential to move forward, and forward is where you need to focus. All right? So that's what I've got for all of us for this upcoming week. Now I'm going to turn my attention to you guys, to Joseph. Joseph needs tips for his Aquarian nature. Let me ring the bell, burn some cedar, Joseph, and clear the energies of the collective and try to start in on a more intimate path here with you guys. So I hope you guys are all doing well. And, you know, my apologies. I like to come on Mondays, but that didn't happen. Like I said, I had a friend who, you know, had ended up in the hospital, and it was just a mess. But today's another day. The sun is shining. We're positive, optimistic. And let's just see what's coming through. So Joseph, I'm going to turn my attention to you first because your kindness, your generosity for the super chat, really appreciate it. Truly appreciate it, Joseph. All right, let's see what is going on for Joseph. Joseph, tips for the Aquarius over here. Let's see what's going on. Hi, Elicity. Let's see what's happening for Joseph. Tips for my Joseph, the Aquarius. Tips from Aquarius. That's a tip from the Aquarius, but I'm going to give you a tip, Joseph. All right, let's see what's going on. Sure appreciate it. All right, listen, Joseph, look what's coming up for you. We have the Seven of Pentacles. So whatever it is you are working on, I feel like it's starting to produce. Because look at here, we've got, you know, when we have the Seven of Pentacles, this is you planting seeds. So you have started something, Joseph, that has totally grown. And, you know, you're at that point where, you know, you're holding those grapes. You're seeing how it's producing. So I like it. Keep going, you know, because I feel as if that is going to manifest into something really, really great. So, yeah, then you can keep tipping me, Joseph. Don't forget to tip the tarot reader. All right, let's see. We got a Pisces here. Astrology happenings with Shanesa. Is that what it is? A Pisces. Grateful, thankful for you. Astrology, thanks for the 10. Really appreciate it. Would you like me to pull a card? Yes or no? Let's see. Yes or no? If not, I'm going to move it over to Elicity because I know Elicity. But I really appreciate the $9.99. Really appreciate it. That's going to buy me a cup of coffee and a sandwich. Oh. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. All right, listen, I'm going to wait for astrology happenings and see whether or not they would like me to pull a card. Meanwhile, I'm going... Oh, wait. There we are. Astrology has shown themselves. So astrology, maybe you can put in the chat this Uranus-Gemini thing because I believe it happened at like 1 in the morning. And at 1 in the morning, a friend of mine just totally collapsed. It was pretty crazy. But maybe you can put a little tidbit in the chat for us all, and we can share it. All right, astrology, let me pull a card. Oh, look, this card came out for you. This one flew out. I don't know if you saw that, but Six of Wands coming out for you. I like it. You know, you are being seen. You are being admired. You are being acknowledged. I think you, also astrology, are someone that, you know, you recognize where you came from. You know, all these people in the background, you know what made you who you are. But here today, we are pulling the victory card for you, astrology. So, yeah, whatever it is, there's victory in front of you. I like that. And I also sense that there's an ending, all right? Bottom of the deck, we have this Ten of Swords coming in reverse, astrology. And I feel like, you know, when we have an ending, you know, there's a new beginning. So whatever this ending is, you won. So I like that for you. All right. All right, let's go back to some of the people in the chat. Elicity, let's start with you. Elicity, you want to know if your son will get a permanent job this upcoming month? Oh, let's find out. Mom wants to know. Grateful, thankful. Lightning strike changes for everyone. Exactly. Oh, I got chills on that, astrology. So listen, I asked Astrology Happenings to give us a little insight on this Uranus-Gemini aspect that's going on. Because Uranus is very unpredictable and things out of nowhere. But Gemini is a planet of communication, you know, and there's a lot of thought, you know, and so there's all kinds of things going on right now. But I think life as we know it is about to change. All right, Elicity, what's going on for you? We're looking for your son. Upright for yes, reverse for no. Will her son get a permanent job this upcoming month? Grateful, thankful for the messages for Elicity. Welcome in, you guys. Nice to have you all here. All right, let's see. Elicity. No, I don't see him getting a job. All right, Knight of Pentacles. You know, he needs to be very careful that he doesn't get involved with quick schemes, you know, ways to make money. The Knight of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles coming in reverse, shady character, all right? This is not honest way of making money. So he needs to be very careful that he doesn't get involved with people that could do more damage than good when it comes to getting a job. But I don't see it happening this month, and I see that he talks about it a lot, but he's not getting it. At least not this month, Elicity. All right, let's see. Who's next? Who we got? Jennifer. Jennifer, are you still out there? Let's see what's going on, Jennifer. Welcome in, you guys. If you're new here, welcome. Nice to have you in the chat. I like to pull cards when I'm done doing the readings. So that's where I'm at. So if you would like me to pull a card for you, just let me know in the chat. And that's how we do that. Simple. All right, Jennifer. Let's see. We're pulling a card for Jennifer. She wants to know how the finances are going to go in the next 2 weeks. Pisces. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Jennifer. Wanting to know about finances over the course of the next couple weeks. What's going on for Jennifer for the next couple weeks. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Jennifer. All right, let's see. You ready? Oh, listen, look, I see work coming. I see opportunity. So I think money's going to pick up. I like that the Knight of Pentacles comes out. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is about really having to do the grunt work, you know. So if you're doing the work, I think that it's going to pay off. And if anything, you know, maybe then some, you know, because a lot of times with this card in particular, it's like somebody wants to make an offer. So I think money's going to be good for you. All right. Oh, and then we got the Magician coming up. I think you're going to manifest everything that you need. So if you need a little bit of, you know, peace of mind on that, I think it's going to be okay. All right, Jennifer, that's what I got for you. All right, let's see who's next. Let's see. Carolina. Carolina wants to know what she can expect this week. Colette, be happy to pull a card for you too. All right, so let's see what's going on for Carolina. Carolina would like to know, what does the week look like just for her? Grateful, thankful for the messages for Carolina. All right, listen, I see you working. All right, like here you are, 8 of Pentacles. You know, this might be a craft that you do or something that you do very, very well. You know, the 8 of Pentacles is, you know, you getting better and better at the work that you do. I like it. But I'm also wondering whether this week you see something at work. All right, because here while you're working, it's like you look up and you see something going on. So, you know, pay attention. You know, maybe it's something good, maybe it's not. Maybe you see somebody doing something. But I do see something happening at work that you know, you witness. And then we have the 5 of Cups coming in reversed. And, you know, I also feel like that at the end of the week, you know, you kind of feel better. If you've been feeling a little bit down and out, Carolina, you know, maybe over something that's been disappointing or something that didn't work out for you, I see you, you know, coming out of it by the end of the week with that 5 of Cups coming in reverse. You know, it's almost like we have an attitude shift of like, you know, I'm not going to let this take me down anymore. And then you pick yourself up and all of a sudden you're having fun and life is happening again. That's what I see for you, Carolina. So a good week. A good week. All right, Colette, you're next. All right, Colette, are you out there? You want to know if you and your brother's relationship will improve. Uh-oh. We have siblings fighting. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Colette. Wanting to know whether or not the relationship between her and her brother will improve. Grateful, thankful for any guidance you can give me to give to Colette. Grateful, thankful for the messages. All right, let's see what's going on for you, Colette. All right. So, listen, I don't see it getting any better, and we have the Hierophant reverse coming in. Usually this is about two people who can align for a greater cause or under a bigger umbrella, you know. And I just don't, I feel like, no, you two are not going to get better. I think what you need to do, though, is let each one of you do what you do. You know, your brother's this way and you are this way. This is a card of independence and freedom. And I think the two of you just need to let each other just be free and be what they want to do. But, you know, here we have the Seven of Wands. You know, someone's always kind of, maybe you have to speak up, and don't be afraid to speak up if you have to, all right? Because the Seven of Wands is, regardless of what they have to say, you have to defend yourself. But that Hierophant right there, upside down, says, you know, you guys need to just kind of do this. And you'll get along much better. All right, but no, I don't see it getting better, Colette. Nathan, what is going on with you? Hi, Claudio. Nice to meet you. Naz, welcome in. Sandhya, let's see, a God message for you. Sandhya, is that how I say it? Sandhya, Pruthi. I don't know. And then I'll do you, May, all right? So let's see, Sandhya, what's going on? You would like a message. Grateful, thankful for the messages. Sandhya. All right, see you, Colette. Hi, Anna. Welcome in. All right, let's see, Sandhya. Let's see. What message can I give you today from the tarot? We have the King of Pentacles. Be careful of somebody who's taking advantage of you. All right, King of Pentacles. This could be your person, your partner. I just feel as if they feel entitled. They feel as if, you know, things are expected. Things are, you know, you should do things because they're expected. Just be careful of that energy, because I think it's really going to get under your skin here. And, you know, the King of Pentacles, too, if you are going to sign a contract, whether it's for a home or a car or, you know, a trip or any kind of thing where, you know, you would be having to put some money down, be very, very careful, because I feel as if you could be taken for a ride. All right, so we don't want that to happen. So watch out for this King of Pentacles. All right, Sandhya. All right, May, you are up next. What will happen with my BF Hassan in his relationship? Because we are in no contact again. And this time, I thought negative things is like cheat, breakup. All right, let's find out. Let's just kind of take a look at the overall energy of this relationship. Yeah, I'll get you too, Anna. Be happy to. All right, May, let's see what's going on with this relationship. No contact again. See, the fact that you said no contact again, you know, sounds like, you know, there's trouble there, you know, because, you know, relationships, you should be able to work it through, you know, and if there's no contact, there's no working through anything. So let's see what's coming up for you. All right, May. All right, we've got the Judgment card and the Fool. You know, honestly, I feel like you need to take advantage and just go on your way. I mean, the Judgment card, I mean, this person, she's moving to her own beat. Look how happy she is. I mean, you have a new lease on life, May. I think you really need to, you know, embrace it. The Judgment card, this card, it precedes the World, which is an ending of an old cycle. And I just feel as if you have an opportunity here for a brand new start. Let this ship sail by. You know, like I said, you know, relationships should have the ability to work through the hard times, not leave. No contact. That's it. I'm done. You know, I think you're the one that needs to be done and move on, because I just see you so much happier on your own. You know, so give yourself that opportunity. Sometimes, you know, you know, it's like when we've been sick for a long time. We forget what it feels like to feel good. You know, when we've been in a bad relationship for a long time, we forget, you know, who we really are because we've been this person that's been dealing with this other person. And then when you're on your own, all of a sudden you have to discover who you are again. And it's wonderful. And I see good things for you that way, May. Yeah. Be patient. Be patient. You will be so much happier on your own. All right, let's see. Was Claudio next or was Anna next? I think Claudio is next. Which tribe did my ancestors belong to? I don't know. I can't even tell you that. Claudio, I think you got to go back and, you know, trace that back. All right, Anna, back home. General reading for you, Anna. Grateful, thankful for the messages from my friend Anna. Always good to see her come into the chat. What can you tell me to tell Anna today? Grateful, thankful for the messages for Anna. All right, let's see. All right. I don't know. I feel like something's not going to work out, Anna. Yeah, and then we have the Seven of Pentacles. If you've been putting a lot of energy into a situation, Anna, that, I mean, now you're confused. I mean, we've got the Hangman upside down. You know, it's just like trying to figure out what to do. When the Seven of Pentacles comes in upside down, it's like it might be time to quit putting energy into something that's not producing. You know, and to keep trying to make something happen that's not producing, I think is what's really hanging you up here with the Hanged Man. So I think you need to look at that, Anna, and whatever it is, that's what you need to, like, Queen of Swords, maybe deal with, cut out. There's just, you've got to get things in order. And if this is not working and, like I said, not producing, then it's time to let it go. All right, Anna? So that's what I've got for you. Oh, and then we had Temperance here at the bottom of the deck. You know, it'll make it stronger, all right? Because here she's in tree pose. Sometimes we got to do what we got to do to find strength, you know, and sometimes in finding strength, we got to cut things out and really kind of look at that. So that's what's going on for you, Anna. All right, so listen, we are at the end here. I've got 8 people in the chat, maybe a few more. So if anybody else wants a reading, let me know. Sorry, Claudio, I can't tell you what your ancestral tribe that you belong to, Grazi. I don't know, you know. Anyway, we all have ancestors. All right, you guys, so listen, I think I'm going to end this. Oh, wait, Sarah's here. Sarah, you got a question? Did I miss it? Let's find out, Sarah.
Sorry, I don't understand.
That's my Siri. Never mind. Let's see if I can turn her off. All right, Sarah, let's find out what's going on for you. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Sarah. All right, let's see. What's coming through? All right, Sarah, we've got the Ten of Pentacles. So some financial loss. A lot of times when we have the Ten of Pentacles show up, you know, all right, I'm back. All right, Sarah, sorry about that. Listen, Sarah, I just feel as if, you know, I just want to pick up where I left off. You know, with this Ten of Pentacles coming in reversed to the Knight of Wands over here, you know, I just feel like you need to like put some space and distance between a situation that, you know, I think got very, very difficult. And in the end, maybe you lost. I mean, the Ten of Pentacles now wants you to kind of move on from it and definitely give some space to the situation. So that's what I've got for you. All right, Sarah. Yeah, because if this is somebody that you were interested in, that you really wanted to be with, I mean, the Knight of Wands, this is somebody you were interested in, that you really wanted to be with. I mean, the Knight of Wands, this is somebody who's not serious. You know, so maybe if you invested a lot into someone and they're not giving back, you know, they were never serious. All right, so that's what I've got for you. All right, you guys, listen, I think I'm going to pop off now and run into town and check on my friend who's in the hospital. I sure appreciate each and every one of you. Take what works, leave what doesn't. And to those that gave me some super chats, tipping the tarot reader, really appreciate it. I really, really do. It really makes a difference and encourages me to come back. You know, it's fun to get that. Anyway, to each and every one of you, have a really, really great week. And I will see you at the next reading. Until then, be